Alright, so you clicked on this video because you want to see every single wrestling t-shirt that I own. Whenever we get new wrestling t-shirts, we have a shirt of the week. So each episode, for like probably 20 episodes, we'd wear a new wrestling shirt every single week and we'd show it off on the podcast. So it's definitely part of the reason why we try to get new wrestling shirts. Plus, you want to support the people that you like. Number two, I wouldn't classify myself as a wrestling t-shirt collector. I do have a lot, but I don't go after super rare t-shirts. I don't pay a lot for these t-shirts. I think the most expensive shirts that I've paid for are probably the ones straight from like WWE.com, because the wrestling vintage shirts, they can go anywhere from $100 to $300 to $500 depending on it. So you definitely have to scour the internet to find some cheaper vintage wrestling t-shirts. So just keep that in mind. A lot of these shirts probably aren't worth a lot, but I think they're super sick. So let's jump into the first t-shirt. Alright, so these first two t-shirts are ones that I just got from Pro Wrestling Tees. One is one of their offers for a botched t-shirt for $5. You can get a t-shirt that is quote unquote botched, which means there's like a thread missing or the screen printing isn't centered on the t-shirt. So that's what this one is. I got this one, this Eddie Guerrero botched t-shirt. Honestly, it's really not even that bad. It's just a little off-centered. This was $5 and I just unboxed these. So if you have not watched that video, go back and watch the previous YouTube video where I unboxed this shirt plus the next shirt. All right, so then the second t-shirt I got from Pro Wrestling Tees is this Jacob Fatu propaganda t-shirt. I watched Jacob Fatu wrestle for the first time at MLW Battle Riot 5 in Philly, and all I have to say is the guy immediately won me over. There are very few wrestlers currently like him, and if you ask me, it's pretty bizarre that he's not signed to WWE and AEW, but again, support your favorite wrestler. So I had to get a Fatu t-shirt. He's a part of the bloodline, and I knew after watching him, his t-shirt was probably one of the next ones that I was gonna get. Also, these are not in any specific order. They're sort of just whatever order they're hanging up in my closet. That's the order I'm going to grab them. And the next t-shirt in my collection is the Wanted Dead or Alive Cactus Jack t-shirt. I mean, talk about an icon of a wrestler. I got this off of WWE's website. A couple years ago, they were holding a sale. I think I ended up getting 3 shirts for like 50 bucks. So definitely keep up to date with WWE because they have a lot of sales. Almost every single time there's a weekly show or a premium live event, they're gonna have a sale. All right, so this next shirt is one of my favorite wrestlers, and that is the Bray Wyatt Who Killed the World. And then on the back, you got You Did. Now this was when Bray Wyatt was making his return to WWE with all the QR codes and all of that goodness. What a time it was to be a fan of WWE, and that really wasn't even that long ago. I got to watch him actually debut at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia, which was awesome. And so I had to pick up this t-shirt. I know things haven't turned out like we thought they were going to in that moment, but nevertheless, I had to get this t-shirt because I think the story behind it is worth it. So I'm definitely super pumped to get this. This is one I got off of WWE's website. So I think their t-shirts are usually around $30. So the next shirt is the Montreal Screwjob t-shirt. Shawn Michaels versus the Heartbreak Kid in Montreal, Canada. The Screwjob, everyone knows it. This is a shirt that I got, I believe it was at Hot Topic. They used to always sell wrestling shirts. They would have probably 5 to 10 different ones, but now, I guess just due to licensing and that sort of thing, they don't sell them. This one was probably around $25 to $30, but you talk about an iconic moment. It's the Montreal Screwjob. I mean, every wrestling fan knows about this match, so I had to pick it up just because of the story behind it. And this is one I don't often get like stopped in the streets or recognized for wrestling t-shirts, but when I wear this one, this is definitely one that I get stopped because people talk about it. So I'm definitely happy to have this one in my collection. All right, so the next t-shirt is again another iconic one from an iconic wrestler, probably the greatest WWE wrestler of all time, and that is the John Cena Chain Gang t-shirt. And then on the back, you got the giant Chain Gang logo. This is one that I got off of one of the reselling apps, so definitely download Poshmark, you can download Depop, you can download Mercari. It was only like $25 and it's in pretty good shape. There's nothing really wrong with it. The black is maybe just a little faded, but these old shirts fit really nicely, and honestly I think they fit way better than the current t-shirts, but this is one I had to get. The Chain Gang Soldier John Cena t-shirt for around $25. I'm super pumped to have this one in my collection. And before we move on, I just wanted to make a note that all of these t-shirts, they're shirts that I'm going to keep forever, and I'm not going to try to like resell them in the future or anything like that, because once I'm older they're going to turn into the vintage t-shirts. But it's really just something I'm going to hold on to for a while and hopefully show my kids and let them rock it. And so my next t-shirt is a probably forgotten gem of a tag team in NXT. It is a part of the golden age of NXT, the black and gold NXT, and I got the American Alpha t-shirt. I mean, you talk about Jason Jordan and you talk about Chad Gable. Holy hell, were they a tag team in NXT. They put on some of the greatest tag team matches ever against FTR and NXT. Then you got the Ready, Willing, and Gable on the back there. This is one I bought, I believe it was either off of the WWE website or I got it off a resale app. I probably paid around $20 or $30 for it, but this is definitely one I like to wear a lot because it's like a deep cut for wrestling fans. So no one really has ever stopped me to talk about this t-shirt, but I know if anyone does, then they are a true wrestling fan. All right, so the next t-shirt that I got is the Elite t-shirt. This is the Young Bucks version. They released a few different of this kind. It's sort of similar to the Bullet Club t-shirts, but this one is for the Young Bucks. And I mean, this is just a super sick t-shirt. They always come up with really cool designs, especially at Pro Wrestling Tees, at New Japan, Ring of Honor, all of that good stuff. They know how to give you cool wrestling t-shirts, so I'm super happy to have this one. And then I also have another sort of similar version of this, but they had a Kenny Omega one, they had a Marty Scurll run, they had a Hangman Page version of this, so I'm happy to have the Young Bucks. All right, so next up, I have a shirt from Mr. WrestleMania. That is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. This is one I believe I got from Hot Topic, and I really like this one just because I wear it out in public a lot, and people always tend to stare at it because it's just a super cool design, and no one really ever knows like who this is. They rarely think it is a professional wrestler, so I really like to wear this one out a lot because this one definitely grabs the eyes of a lot of people watching it, and they think, oh, is this like a rock star? Who's that person? I'm like, no, it's a professional wrestler. It's the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. All right, so this next t-shirt is from one of my favorite matches of all time, and it happened recently in 2020. You've got the Inner Circle Stadium Stampede winner t-shirt. Now, I absolutely love the idea of this t-shirt because the Inner Circle had printed these shirts out before the match, and the shirt says winners on it. So they printed a bunch of t-shirts that said they won the match before the match happened, and then they in fact did not win the match. That happens a lot with sports teams, so I thought it was super funny that they did that, and I had to grab it. It's one of my favorite shirts in my collection, so this is definitely one that I'm preserving because I think it has a really cool story behind it. All right, so this next t-shirt is from someone who is often called a cancer to professional wrestling, which is absurd. You should listen to one of the recent episodes of the Burning Hammer podcast. Me and Dylan talk about that, and we come to the aid of Orange Cassidy, which is who this t-shirt is. You got the Orange Cassidy thumbs up t-shirt, and I really like this one just because it's a picture of Orange Cassidy wearing a picture of himself, and then he just has a little blood on it. Everything's black and white except the blood. Although the only annoying thing about this shirt, when I would wear it a lot, people would talk about the blood being a stain. So that's definitely something that's super annoying that happens a lot with this shirt. But I've got a ton of stains on this because this has also sort of turned into my yard work t-shirt just because it's nice and light. So this is one I don't wear in public a lot, but I'm super happy to have this one in my collection, and it is a funny t-shirt regardless. All right, so next up is one that I got. I want to say it was off of Poshmark for around $15 or $20, and that is the Cesaro King of Swing t-shirt. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's underutilized in WWE. You talk about Cesaro. He's underappreciated, undervalued. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, pound for pound. And so I saw this t-shirt. It was pretty cheap, and I had to get it just because it's an older Cesaro t-shirt from WWE. Again, I think I paid about $15 for it, and then you got the little hit of Cesaro on the back there. So this is one I definitely like to wear a lot, and it's a different style t-shirt. I don't know the exact name of it when they have the like collared hits on the actual end of the sleeve as well, but this is one I like to wear a lot. And it's a deep cut. If someone knows who this wrestler is, then that's definitely big props to them. So I'm super happy to have this in my collection. All right, so next up is one of my more recent purchases. It is one of my favorite purchases also, considering the price. I believe it was around $25, and I've got another Shawn Michaels t-shirt, a Heartbreak Kid. This one is more in the era of when I would watch Shawn Michaels in sort of the late 2000s. So this is definitely up my alley more. And then on the back, it says, "He who is strong conquers others. He who is mighty conquers himself." It's definitely a nice little touch on the back. This is a super cool t-shirt. This one also fits really well because it's older and it has that older material. So I'm super happy to have this. And again, this one was only $20 or $25 before shipping. So definitely be sure to check out your resale apps, but don't pay a lot for shirts because you can get a ton of super cool ones for under $30. All right, so next up, this is another super iconic t-shirt from an iconic faction, and that is the D-Generation X t-shirt protected by D-Generation X. I absolutely love this t-shirt. I love the way the green really pops from the black, and it's sort of that older but like in the middle ground DX logo. Like it's not the older silver logo, but it's not like the newer one that was sort of part of my generation when it was just Triple H and Shawn Michaels. You've got that nice old school logo there with a nice green hit, and on the back you got the same thing. I absolutely love this shirt. Like I said, this one fits really well, and it was $20 or $25. It's in pretty much perfect condition. You could probably advertise this one as brand new, so it's definitely one of my favorite shirts in my collection also. All right, so staying on the topic of D-Generation X, I just mentioned it. I have the silver logo t-shirt. Now, this is not a vintage shirt. This is one of the reprints that WWE will do. So they have it on their website. Again, it's the same price, around $30 for all of them, but you can buy the vintage designs t-shirts just on newer garment and newer clothes. And then on the back, you got two words for you: suck it. This is definitely one I like to wear in public just because if people don't know about D-Generation X, which a rare percentage of people do, it's just funny. They look at your back and then you tell them to suck it. So how can you not like this? Again, classic t-shirt. I know that the fit of the vintage t-shirts is way better. The ones that I got from WWE.com, they are an extra large, but they don't fit me that well anymore. So that's why I don't wear them. But if you don't want to pay $150, $250, $300 for a vintage wrestling t-shirt, they have them on WWE's website. They have a ton of them, and they have a bunch of sales. You can get a lot of them for $20, so definitely be on the lookout for that. All right, so this is the third t-shirt in the sale that I got, which I got the Cactus Jack one. I got the last t-shirt you just saw, the DX one, and then I got this sort of Bull the Rock t-shirt. Got a little bull there cooking up a steak, I believe, and then on the back, do you smell it? This is, again, a super cool design. It was only, I think it ended up only being like $25 because I got a sale with all three of them. However, the annoying thing about this t-shirt is there is a little white, I hope you can focus. There's a little white line there, and I don't know what it is. It's not from me. It's just how I got it in the mail. But again, you want that vintage t-shirt without paying $200 for it, head over to WWE.com. The next t-shirt is the Bray Wyatt Moth t-shirt. This is one that I saw. I got it straight from WWE's website, and I really like the design of it. You can just, it's one of the shirts that doesn't look like a wrestling shirt, but no one really asks you like what it is, but it's like, if you know, you know. Again, this is a t-shirt from Bray Wyatt making his return. He's been absent from WWE for probably a couple months now, or at least 2 months, but This is one I had to get just so I can remember the moment. Bray Wyatt made his return, his second run with WWE, with a super interesting character that it looks like they're not gonna go back to, which is a shame, but I'm super happy to have this t-shirt. Bray Wyatt, to me and my generation, is similar to The Undertaker in the fact that he's always had a super creative character, and he's had a few different ones, so I'm definitely happy to have this t-shirt in my collection. All right, so next up, I've got a version of one of the most iconic, one of the most well-known, one of the most recognizable, I think it was maybe the highest selling t-shirt of all time, and that is the Cody Rhodes Bullet Club t-shirt. This is one that I got from Hot Topic for around $25. I absolutely love the design. This was from when Cody Rhodes was in the Bullet Club. I need to get a new Cody Rhodes t-shirt. Lord knows they have enough Cody Rhodes branded apparel on WWE.com, but there's a few that I'm looking at, so I may end up getting one. But the Bullet Club t-shirt, I believe at one point, is the highest selling t-shirt in the entire world, and it's probably one of the highest selling wrestling t-shirts of all time, and I'm happy to have the Cody Rhodes version of it. A ton of wrestlers made their own versions with their own sort of designs like Cody Rhodes did, so I'm super happy to have this in my collection. All right, this next t-shirt, it's from a faction that is one of my favorite factions of all time, and it's one that didn't get the proper treatment that they should have gotten on the main roster in WWE. I present to you the Undisputed Era t-shirt. I mean, this is a super cool design. Then you've got a massive print on the back. Shock the system. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. You talk about four dudes who were extremely dominant as a faction in NXT. They could have been one of the best WWE factions of all time. Obviously, that's not how it panned out. They wanted to call Adam Cole up, shave his head, and have him be a manager for Keith Lee. Kyle O'Reilly I think he let his contract expire. The same thing with Bobby Fish, and then Roderick Strong just let his contract expire as well because he stayed in NXT for far too long, so now he is in AEW along with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. So hopefully Kyle O'Reilly will be back from his injuries soon, and then they'll form a new version of the Undisputed Era without Bobby Fish. This next t-shirt is the second to last t-shirt, and I talked about a lot of iconic moments for me. I like to get t-shirts that you look at, it's a cool t-shirt, but it also just reminds you of a time or of a storyline. And this one is a part of the greatest wrestling storyline of all time. I don't care what anyone says, this is the best storyline there ever has been. And that is the Sami Zayn Feeling Oozy t-shirt. Now, this shirt I like. You got the little throw up the ones on the back. This is a shirt that you look at it and there's a story that comes with it, and that's really what I like about it. It's just one of those shirts you wear it out in public, people ask you about it, and you can talk to them for 5 hours about the Bloodline storyline. And again, this is one where I'm going to pass it down to my kids, and then I get to talk to them and tell them the story of the Bloodline. So that's why I really like this t-shirt. The final t-shirt. This is probably my favorite shirt I like to wear out in public. It is a part of, at one point, one of the most over tag teams in WWE. Overall, it's just an absurd t-shirt to have, and I have the Scissor Me Daddy Ass airbrushed, the Acclaimed t-shirt. This is one I really like to wear, this one in public, because this is a shirt that I will get a lot of stares for, just because it says Scissor Me Daddy Ass, and it's one where, like, if you see me wearing this, we're gonna scissor each other, and there could be some pretty beautiful moments made from it. So I'm super happy to have this t-shirt in my collection. Again, it's just an absurd thing, just an absurd t-shirt. It's one, if you know about it, you just look at it and you laugh. So I'm very happy to have this shirt in my collection. All right, so there you have it. That's every single t-shirt that I own, and I am constantly getting new ones. I'm going to probably be getting a couple. I just got to save up for it, and I'd like to get a pretty big haul. So if you want to see a YouTube video of little wrestling accessories that I have, make sure to give this one a thumbs up and drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe, because the Burning Hammer podcast is on top. We are the next big thing in professional wrestling media. We release new episodes every single Thursday. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Plus, we upload a video version on YouTube, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe at The Burning Hammer. And the best way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes of the podcast is to follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, we are at The Burning Hammer. And make sure to follow us on Twitch at The Burning Hammer Podcast. Like I said, there's a new episode of the podcast every single week. We dive into more non-current event-based things. And then if you want our thoughts on what is currently happening in professional wrestling, one, follow us on social media. And then number two, we live stream on Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we are going to go live following SmackDown and following AEW Dynamite moving forward. So we live stream on Twitter, we live stream on YouTube, and we live stream on Twitch. So if you want our thoughts or reactions to everything that's currently happening in professional wrestling, make sure to follow us on all of that stuff. With that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you then.